The following program is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. With 5 locations in the Wilmington area, Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients. Always had them, always will. Wilmington International Airport. Committed to a relaxed, enjoyable flying experience. Now offering daily nonstop flights to Charlotte, New York, and Philadelphia with American Airlines, and Atlanta with Delta. Details at flyilm.com. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, featuring uncompromising freshness and quality and gracious hospitality. Ruby Tuesday at Monkey Junction, the perfect place for your next casual dining experience. And PortCityDaily.com. You can do without the paper, but you can't do without the news. PortCityDaily.com is your online local news source for Wilmington and the surrounding Cape Fear region.
Hey folks, welcome to the 16th season of Sports Roundtable right here on New Hanover County Schools TV. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, your free online source for local news and sports across the Wilmington area. Don't forget, log on each and every day to find score stats and highlights from your local favorite high school football teams. Tonight on our show, we'll catch up with the 4 New Hanover County high school football coaches, and while some of the names are new to the area, or not really new, but we're going to take you through each and every week a look at high school football across New Hanover County. We'll be joined by our 4 coaches: New Hanover High School coach Earl Smith, Hoggard High School head coach Craig Underwood, Laney High School coach Ashad Yeoman, and Ashley head football coach Jeff Turner. All 4 of the coaches, again, some fresh faces, some new faces, back to the future kind of, as we will catch up with Earl Smith in just a few minutes. I want to quickly run down week 2, some of the scores and stats from week 2 of the high school football season back on Friday night, already into week 2. First, we'll start down in Myrtle Beach, the 4th annual Carolinas Kickoff Clash. The New Hanover Wildcats picked up a 48-21 victory over Socastee, South Carolina. Traquan Age with 219 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. Greenville Rose defeated Laney in Bucktown in their home opener 56-44, a high-scoring affair. Ryan Williams had 2 touchdown grabs in the setback for the Bucks. Jemias Beckett also took a 35-yard interception return back to the house for Laney, who are now 0-2 on the year. 71st defeated Hoggard out in Fayetteville 12-7. Tony Allen scored from 3 yards out, the lone touchdown for the Vikes. And Swansboro defeated Ashley up in the Jacksonville area 28-14. We'll get to our first guest right now here on the Sports Roundtable, and that's, I guess we can call him, first-year head football coach for the New Hanover High School Wildcats, and that's Earl Smith. Coach Smith, it's good to see you here on stage, and I'm glad we're going to be able to share some thoughts and talk X's and O's as we head throughout the course of the season.
It's great to be back in Wilmington.
Coach, again, you're familiar with the territory. You were here in the early 2000s, coming out of retirement to take over the Wildcats moving forward. Some different kind of circumstances taking over New Hanover this time around, having made the playoffs here 9 times in a row, I believe, under former coach Kevin Motzinger. So just talk about the transition moving from, I guess, pulled you out of retirement now to lead the Wildcats this season.
Yeah, Coach Motzinger had established a great program here, and it was kind of an easy transition for me coming in. But you know, it's been on a weekly basis of bringing my ideas in and blending them in with what Coach Motzinger had done in the past.
Well, you've had some success so far this season, obviously off to a 2-0 start. We could start with the offense, I guess, putting up 40-plus points in each of the 2 weeks. 10 of the 11 starters are back. Burke Estes under center for you at quarterback. He's learned a lot over the past 3 years as the backup. Why don't you talk about that offensive side of the ball and the success they've had so far?
Well, you know, it starts with our offensive line. We've got a great group of seniors there, and of course with Burke and Garrett, you know, close to 500 yards each week, and we just, you know, the negative was some penalties that are killing us in our drive. So
yeah, we'll take a look at some of the footage again. This is from last weekend's matchup against Socastee down at Doug Shaw Stadium in Myrtle Beach.
Again, here's another one of the runs by Traquan Age, our senior running back. We moved him to running back. He was our speed. Did a great job. End zone shot, same play. Again, he rushed for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns. also, you know, quite a bit in the air too.
You talked about that offensive line and the seniors up front.
Yep.
That was a hole you could drive a truck through, that last one he took.
Here's sophomore Freddie Taylor on a sweep. Does a great job. Good drive here. And again, you're going to get to see both end zone and side shots.
Lots of speed from
Yeah,
sideline
we
to sideline.
were able to spread the wealth a little bit with our backs. Here's a flat route by Freddie from Burke. Good second effort there, getting down to the 3-yard line.
Methodical moving the ball downfield.
Yep. Got a goal line situation here. Junior Javon Hill puts it in.
If he had 2 touchdowns in the win
Right.
the other night.
He did, yeah, two short yardage runs.
I mean, that offense has really been a juggernaut so far this season. I know you say you got to clean up some things here on the defensive side
Right.
of the ball, but so far, you know, business as usual on the offensive end.
Real excited about we worked hard on our kicking teams, and Josiah Easton, our kickoff specialist and punter. Guys do a great job of getting down the field and gang tackling here. Again, the end zone shot. You know, later on in the game, he puts one in the end zone, which is a great threat in high school, of course.
Anytime a team has to start with a long field, definitely benefits the defense.
And our defensive front here does a great job. Good push. It's junior Jemias Williams there on the end.
Well, heading into this week, you get a tough matchup against the Havelock Club. You know, you're talking about the defensive side of the ball and having to clean up some things. I guess that's obviously going to be a focus this week moving forward against a tough Havelock team.
Yeah, the things that and again, here's Traquan's big run, and just what a great effort by him. And again, there's a great hole up front. Tariq Speller, one of our offensive guards, pulled around, and we're the mistakes we're making are correctable. That's what's good. In both games, we had a third quarter where we come out flat. Now we got to work on that. You know, we were up by three touchdowns in both games. And that's something that they got to learn how to handle success.
Well, one good thing, I guess, at 2-0 on the year is that you finally get to come home and play in front of your home crowd at Legion Stadium. You'll get to do so against 2 quality opponents here coming up over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got Havelock and Scotland, and you know, the travel, those were close to 2-hour trips, and playing away it's tough. But proud of our guys for coming out on top in both of them, and you know, like I say, we've got plenty of room to improve.
The New Hanover Wildcats are off to a 2-0 start this season. This is first-year coach Earl Smith back on the sidelines at Legion Stadium. Again, the Wildcats will take on Havelock, followed by another home game against Scotland County over the next 2 weeks. Coach, it's always a pleasure, and we look forward to catching up with you as the season progresses.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, we'll take a quick break here on the Sports Roundtable. Next up will be Laney, second-year coach Ashad Yeoman, right here after this quick break. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Joe Katz, your host from PortCityDaily.com, your free online source for local sports and news information across the Wilmington area. We caught up with Coach Earl Smith of the New Hanover Wildcats last segment, and I kind of told a little fib here. We were expecting Coach Ashad Yeoman here joining us now on stage, but the tapes got a little mixed up. It's our first show of the year, so bear with us. And we're now going to catch up with Coach Craig Underwood from Hoggard High School. Probably one of the biggest changes across the landscape of high school football this year is along Shipyard Boulevard. Of course, Coach Scott Braswell retiring from the sidelines this year. Coach Underwood, a longtime assistant, former player at Hoggard, now taking over. The Vikes are 1-1, coming off an 18-7 setback to 71st out in Fayetteville, Coach. But before we get to the X's and O's, maybe let's talk about the transition from defensive coach and with the linebackers to what you're doing now as the head man at Hoggard.
Well, it's been the transition's been great. Just the culture at Hoggard and the tradition there that I've been around a long time. It's really been a smooth transition. I've been excited at the opportunity, and the kids have responded really well. Got a great coaching staff to support, so it's really been it's been a smooth transition so far.
Well, you come off a season opening victory against Holly Springs, 1-0 on the year, but then you got to head out to Fayetteville, take on a quality 71st squad of the Falcons, and just weren't able to get the offense moving really in that game. Tony Allen scores your lone touchdown in the setback, 1-1 on the year. Maybe some thoughts now looking back on the film on what could you have done a little bit better there that maybe would have changed that result?
Well, I mean, we knew going into the season we were young offensively. We replaced a lot of skill guys, but more importantly, pretty much almost our entire offensive line graduated. So we're very young up front. We knew it'd take a couple weeks to get in. We have to play some tough defense to keep, offense in the game while those young guys are learning. And I do think we're in the right direction. We just couldn't. We got to learn to finish drives. We're moving the ball, but we're just not finishing drives.
Well, we got some film here from that game, and obviously on the offensive side of the ball, you see your big tight end right there run over a 71st player, and just take us through here this next set of plays here for us.
Here we are on defense here, and you're seeing this is actually Dante Bryant, senior defensive lineman, works in at nose guard and in for us. He's kind of a little spark plug for us. Works in at different positions and just goes through and makes a great play for us. Here we see taking advantage of a turnover. That was a big stop right there. They had moved the ball a little bit to start the game, so we were able to get some momentum back right there. We started the game with a big pass play. Really looked to the pass quite a bit this game. Here you see Tristan Candair. He's our fullback. We work him at tailback. He's a short yardage passing threat. I mean, he's really kind of the jack of all trades for us this year. Let's see, here we are again. This is Josh Jones in at quarterback right now. We are working two quarterbacks. That's Hunter Louthan going down, making a big catch, setting up our first touchdown here. This is Tony Allen, just out of a heavy package, just pounding it right in there. Great push. We talk about that offensive line developing, great push by our offensive line there. But we're blessed with those two tight ends, Hunter Louthan and Patrick Morrison. That's really given us some versatility this year.
They have a lot of experience up there running that seam route.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was Omar Jones coming through for us there. Omar, just a senior captain, great leader for us. He's doing an outstanding job. This is Brandon Ray coming up from strong safety. Another guy that's he's put in 4 years and he's excited to be in the mix and really leading the way for us this year. That's Omar again. Omar had a few tackles for loss and a sack this game. Really stepping up big for us. Bring a little pressure here. This is Mackenzie Frazier, and then I believe it was Dante Bryant again on that one. So, a lot of defensive pressure. That's Zach Jaffray coming off and making a good play off the blitz there. A little more yards after contact than I like, but stopping them short. So here we go, coming in with a big goal line stop right there. That was a big play, setting it back. Put us in position. I'll tell you one thing I was most proud of. 71st had a lot of weapons, and these kids just kept fighting. We told them, they're going to make a play here and there. You just got to keep fighting. And if you watch this full film, we run down a couple big plays that go on to become stops. So, pleased with that. All right, again, here you're seeing just great pressure inside. William Candair filling through. Back to the offensive side of the ball here. See, I can't tell if we've got Sasser or Jones. That's Jones again on this highlight. This is a little Y screen backside. That was a big conversion right there. We had a 3rd and long and needed to come through for a big conversion. So nearly set up a score. Again, we just couldn't quite finish the drive. There's Will Dykes and William Candair both in on a big stop. Bringing some pressure here in a short yardage situation. Sweep. Filling there. Good job setting the edge. Ball comes out. Personally, I thought that was a fumble. Very late whistle, ruled it down, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
One of the things I saw from the film there, it seems like that defensive line getting a lot of penetration into that backfield.
We are. I'll tell you, I'm very proud. We said going into the season that our defensive line would be, largely the leading group. That's probably the position we are most senior heavy at. However, we've had some injuries, so we've had some guys that have really had to step up, and they've done a good job through 2 games.
Well, so. I think that just attributes to the program, a lot of depth within the junior varsity ranks all the way up to the varsity team, that you're able to pull guys up and you ask them to step up, and usually they're up to the task.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we started a freshman against Holly Springs, so it was definitely unexpected. That was a senior-led group, but he had to step in and start, and we've been able to, I think Coach All with the defensive line is doing a good job coaching those guys up, and we're ready for Pine Forest this week.
Yeah, coming up this week, and a home game at least to get back into action
back
at
at
Scott
home.
Breslow Stadium against Pine Forest. You're 1-1 to start the year. Maybe just quickly as we wrap it up, just maybe some things that you're focusing on this week to take over into Friday night.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really fundamentals. It is back to the basics of defensively. Let's get our reads, let's shed blocks, let's go be a great tackling team. Force turnovers, got to win the turnover battle, and then offensively, it's simplify. Let's play some power football and let's go win this thing.
The Vikes are 1-1 to start the season. Home game coming up on Friday night against Pine Forest. Kickoff at 7:30. Hoggard High School football coach Craig Underwood with us here on the Sports Roundtable. Coach, it's always a pleasure catching up. Look forward to seeing you Friday night. Sounds good. We'll take a quick break. We'll continue our Sports Roundtable right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sports Roundtable, our weekly look at high school football across New Hanover County. We've already caught up with two of our coaches this evening. We'll continue the conversation right now with second-year Laney High School football coach Ashad Yeoman. And Coach Yeoman, who would have thought now 2 years into your tenure in Bucktown that you would be the longest tenured coach in New Hanover County?
Yeah.
How does that sound?
It's kind of crazy, man. With all the guys here that are new, I'm still the youngest guy, in New Hanover County as a head coach, but I was imparting my wisdom on those guys while they were here.
One thing I could say is that oftentimes as a new head coach, obviously been around the game for a long, long time, playing college football back at Laney, of course, too, at the high school level. But taking the experiences you learned from year one into year two, and I know we've talked about it kind of off air, but what were some of the things that you took from year one that you're kind of trying to implement here in this second season?
Oh, man, there were a lot of things that we kind of looked at as a staff, just from the way we practice and some of the things we want to try to incorporate. Just overall, kind of looking at the whole thing and just trying to get better every single season.
Well, the Bucks aren't off to the start that Coach Yeoman would have liked. They're 0-2 on the year, but with that said, they've had a tall task in the first two games of the season. Game one, week one, they went up against a tough Wallace Rose Hill Bulldogs club, obviously one AA state champions with a couple of Division I prospects on their roster. And then this past Friday night, they go up against a 4A school that they're very familiar with in Greenville Rose, and another player on their team, in Cornell Powell, who's a Clemson University commit. So you've had your hands full, at least defensively, here over the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, it's been a great challenge, man. But that's as coaches, as players, that's one of the things that we should look forward to every single week. But yeah, it's been a tough 2 weeks. But I'm really proud of the kids and the effort they've been given. And as you can see, when you fight and you have that camaraderie and that family atmosphere, anything can happen on Friday nights.
Well, as we look to some of the footage that we have from this opening week, obviously the Bucks, just a tough outing against Wallace Rose Hill. But with that said, I thought they came to play this week too. Maybe you could take us through some of these plays here as we get the highlight reel. I did notice in that Greenville Rose game was that you were able to get the defense and special teams working for you as well.
Yeah, we just been inconsistent. That's all, man. We got to get better at third down efficiency and in our turnover game. The guys have been doing a great job of flying to the football and doing their jobs. As you can see, we had some pretty good plays, stops in the early beginnings, but we just, shot ourselves in the foot with some penalties and that type of deal. And, they did a great job of executing, man. They not there's no slow leap with those guys. The coach does a good job over there. And like you said, they were 1AA state champions last season, so they got a lot of great talent coming back, and they did a great job of executing the offense and defense.
On the offensive side of the ball here, we see your quarterback, Trayvon Green, take a little draw play up towards the right side. I think he's starting to grow as well, getting more comfortable behind the center as well.
Yeah, he really is, man. And the leadership qualities that he showed in this game were tremendous, man. We're proud of the effort that he's been given. We still got a long way to go, but the thing is the attitude is where it needs to be at, and the hard work and the effort.
Another guy that we will see a lot of this year is Amik Watkins, and you see him kind of skate out towards the left side on the far sideline, and a couple of good runs. Guys are going to key on him though as the weeks progress.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job, man. Teams have been doing a pretty decent job of keeping him bottled up, but I'm willing to bet he's going to have a breakout soon. Looking at the game overall, we did a great job of moving the ball. We just couldn't sustain drives. Again, we had some penalties here and there, and some breakdowns in execution, but for the most part, we didn't do too bad moving the football. We just didn't keep the execution going for for the 4 quarters.
Well,
that
and I
we
think
need.
that's something that you did better in week 2 here, even though you came up with the loss, of course, to Greenville Rose. You were able to move the ball and you were able to put it in the end zone as well.
Oh yeah, it seemed like we came out with a whole different mentality. I had a lot of the guys from in the past. Kitwana Jones, he played at Laney High School. Robert Dorless, Taki Muhammad, Coach Dan Bloworth, he came through, and those guys all had conversations with the kids, and it really got them fired up and motivated just to show that it's not just about them. There's other people that are affected in the way we play, and then a lot of people take pride in our school.
And it was a good crowd in Bucktown at Laney on Friday night for your home opener, of course. And we see here on the special teams, something that kind of ignited the team, I think, early was a couple of these block punts.
Yeah, Coach Russ did a great job of implementing some changes that we wanted to make. And the kids just did a great job of executing with the game plan. That was actually just the 9th grader that ended up blocking that kid. That's Gerard Sidbury. He's going to be pretty special in the coming years. So we're looking for some great things from him. And I obviously showed some moxie coming up as a 9th grader and blocking the kick.
And again, the Rampants were a team that, they like to spread the ball. They got a lot of different guys, some touches, so it was a tough thing for this defense to key on one particular guy.
Oh, absolutely. They did a great job of executing their game plan. We did, a fairly decent job of bottling up the run, but I tell you, Cornell Powell was one special guy, man. He scored probably about 85% of their touchdowns. He's real special. That's Jemias Beckett, a senior cornerback there, coming up with a pick and taking it to the house. He's been doing a great job for us with his leadership skills.
Yeah, that was a big interception return at that point of the game. It's a tie ball game or within a score, and Beckett comes up with a big interception and 35-yard interception return.
Yeah, we were up 28-14, and then we ended up kicking the ball to Cornell Powell, which we didn't want to do, but it ended up happening anyway. And he made us pay the price and got the momentum going in their favor for that second half.
Well, the road doesn't get much easier for the Laney Bucks heading forward. A couple more non-conference games and a couple more tough road trips on the way for yourself this week in practice. What are some of the things that you may be looking for to improve on that it can get you that first victory?
Well, the effort was there this past Friday, and I tell the kids, man, if we come to fight, we give ourselves a chance, and that's one of the things we're looking to build on. They see the fruits of their labor and the hard work and the mentality that we need to be successful on the football field. Now we just got to carry it out on Friday nights.
Well, it's always a lot of fun catching up with you, Coach Yeoman, and I look forward to watching how the Bucks pan out this week as they head up to Lee County, I believe.
Yes, sir.
For
Lee
a
County.
matchup against a tough 3A squad, and hopefully Laney will come home with their first victory of the season. Coach Ashad Yeoman with us here on the Sports Roundtable. Coach Yo, it's always a pleasure talking with you, and we'll talk to you next week here on the Sports Roundtable.
Yes, sir. Go Bucks.
We'll take a quick break here, and we'll catch up with our final guest this evening, and actually a first-year head football coach, Jeff Turner. Hey folks, welcome back to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Joe Katz from PortCityDaily.com, your free online source for local news and sports across the Wilmington area. We've talked with 3 of the 4 New Hanover County High School's football coaches so far. We'll wrap it up this evening with Ashley first-year coach Jeff Turner. And Coach, been talking throughout the last couple of months, and it's good to have you on stage here for the first edition of the Sports Roundtable.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I wish I could be here in little different circumstances where we might have been able to capitalize on some things and not make as many mistakes in the first 2 games, but it's sort of expected, not wanted, with what we got going. And the great thing about that I like is that coming off the field, the kids know. I don't have to tell them what we need to do. They know what they need to get better on, and so they're working hard at that. It's just a process to get them and catch them up to where we need to be.
Well, I remember talking with you on August 1, the first day of football practice for the season, or first official day at least, and that was one of the things that we kind of talked about was just changing the culture of what was to what can be in the future, and there's going to be a process that it takes there, and obviously you have to play games in between that process, and there are a lot of different learning curves that you're going to have as not a new head coach, but a new coach of a new program, understanding, learning about the kids, and gaining excitement, growing for this program, and I think so far it's while the result might not be there at 0-2, that you are starting to build some things that you're going to be able to build off of over the next couple of games and into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like the idea of moral victories, to be quite honest with you, but there are a lot of positive things that we can build off, and we are getting better. We need to basically stay with our foundation and work basic fundamentals, whether it's ball security, tackling, and basic things like that are sort of hurting us. And we're right there, and we're a couple steps away from getting over that hurdle and getting that monkey off of their back and our back. So they're working hard. Their attitudes are good. They're a good bunch of kids. We're keeping the faith, and we'll just keep working hard, and hopefully it'll reap our benefits soon.
Two of the guys that I think really, that have stood out to me at least through the first two games, one on the offensive side and one on the defensive side. Bradley Plyer in the backfield for you, one of your running backs, really runs the ball hard, likes to move north and south, which you always like to see. And then on the defensive end, Kadafi Turner has been a ball hawk. He picked up 2 turnovers in week 1 against White Oak, an interception, a fumble recovery. Two guys that have stood out really to me in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, Bradley has sort of really stepped it up, and he sort of had to. Last week, we brought up our JV quarterback. Our other starting back was out. We were missing Caleb Parker and also Freddie Thames. So we had a JV guy and then one. So Bradley had to get all the carries. So it's sort of, when we have all our horses going, it works obviously better with them working together. But Bradley's just picked it up. He's a tough kid going through the hole. He'll run you over and works hard. But we got to get him some relief in getting these guys healthy. And on the other side, defensively, everyone's doing good. Kadafi did not play last game, and he's taken some leadership roles back there and has the experience, is doing a great job.
Well, as we head towards some of the footage, obviously, coming off a 28-14 setback against a quality Swansboro side up in the Jacksonville area, as we head to that footage right now, maybe some of the things that stood out as we dissect some of the plays here in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, this is Jacob Reed on a counter play, and he sort of hit that, and he had to step up. He was playing tight end, and we had to put him at back because we didn't have anybody else. So guys had to come in. That's a JV quarterback, handing the ball off to Bradley Plyler going around end. And he's a tough runner and hitting it hard. Again, we're right there. There goes Plyler again, getting in the end zone. He's a very hard runner, does a great job. Offensive line is working hard. Defensively, Kendrell Peterson on the sack right there. Guys are getting excited. Up defensively, did a good job. Just we're on the field too long, and turnovers hurt us. Joe Barbera right there, getting to the quarterback. Okay. And right here again, there's Jacob Reed sort of filling in at the running back place that hadn't even gotten any reps. Right there is a pick, okay, good coverage, and the Mike linebacker comes over and pursuing to the ball and picks it up, and that's a good turnover right there. Ibn Murphy. Special teams have been great. Coach Green's done a great job. We got kickoff return here for Sean Ross, who brings it all the way to the 40. I really thought we had something going. This is after, in the beginning of third quarter. I thought we can get the ball right here and take that in and score and tie it up. It's 14-7. We just didn't, it sort of caught up with our immaturity a little bit. A busted play, but the quarterback, 10th grade, Logan Parker, does a great job. Logan Black, excuse me, running up the sideline, does a great job. He's a tough kid. Right here, I think it's Bradley quarterback lead. Okay, that's just Bradley Plyler out of the Wildcat because we lost Logan Black for a second, so we were reeling a little bit. Right here's a nice play on a hitch and go. Jacob Lloyd reads it perfect, and he throws the ball right into Jacob. And I thought Jacob was actually going to score on this. Good pick. Gets the ball. I thought if he took it to the other sideline, he might have been there, but it was a great return. He gets us all the way down. And again, we have a chance to score and win, and we just couldn't capitalize offensively. Everything was right there. It's frustrating. It really hurts because the kids, you want it for the kids so bad, and you're just right there, and we just need to, get through that block. And I think once you get through it, everything becomes a little easier.
Well, you kind of stole the words right out of my mouth, is that the fact that, you're putting yourself in that position, you're so close to breaking through, and finally when you're able to do that, then the confidence will just pour out, and the guys will believe that they can do it, and that's half the battle, really.
Yeah, I mean, their effort, they're trying so hard. I think the immaturity and maybe some of the experience and football savvy kind of stuff that maybe isn't instilled in some of the kids that haven't played as much football. And that's why it's got to take time to sort of get into them. So it's going to take time, but hopefully we'll get it sooner than later and be ready to go. We're working tirelessly as a staff, and it's tough, but the kids have been great. They're keeping the faith, and we're going to keep working hard, and we're not going to be negative about it, and we'll keep pushing.
Screaming Eagles are 0-2, but have been competitive in both games this season, looking to get over the hump. Their first victory coming up on Friday night. Ashley, first-year coach Jeff Turner with us. Coach, it's always a pleasure, man, and I know we'll be talking plenty more over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Good to see you.
We'll wrap it up here on the Sports Roundtable. Hope you've enjoyed our first edition here in the 16th season of Sports Roundtable, covering high school football across New Hanover County. Join us next week as we do it again with all 4 of our New Hanover County high school football coaches right here on Sports Roundtable. For everyone here at New Hanover County Schools TV, I'm Joe Katz. Until next time.